welcome back. And as you guys know, I have lots of kids, and some of my kids like to request a special birthday cake for their birthday. All right, so my oldest this time has requested a cookies and milk cheesecake. So we're going to jump into it, and I'm going to show you how to do that. First, we have to make the crust. Into the bowl is going to go 2 sticks of unsalted butter for our chocolate chip cookie crust. I'm going to use coconut sugar. You can use regular sugar if you want. A nice blend on that is 3/4 cup of brown, 3/4 cup of white. Okay, but use, whatever kind of sugar you want to use. We're going to get our dry ingredients together. We have our all-purpose flour, baking soda, not baking powder. Have you ever made that mistake also? Let me know if you have and what resulted from it, how it turned out. Oh, that can be fun. And then we're going to do a scant teaspoon of salt. Not a lot of salt in there. Whisk those together. And guys, remember, if you like what you're seeing, give me a little thumbs up or a heart. Leave me a comment. And don't forget to subscribe, okay? Because that really helps us out. And we appreciate you guys' support so much. You have no idea. We're just having the time of our lives doing this, and we hope that you guys are having fun with us. Okay, so our dry ingredients are ready. Okay, now we're going to cream our butter and sugar until they're nice and creamy and incorporated. That looks pretty good. We're just going to scrape the sides down a little bit and give it a check. Remember, guys, when you're scraping, remember to get across that bottom like that. Give it a couple turns. And now we're ready to add our egg. And scrape those sides. Now we're ready to add our dry ingredients. And don't forget, guys, recipe will be in the description box below, okay? And now we're ready to add our chocolate chips. Okay, all incorporated and ready to fill our pan. Okay, guys, now we have our standard 9-inch springform pan is what I'm using today. Okay, you can usually get them easily in 8, 9, and 10-inch, and a lot of times you can get those in a set. And it's a nice deal that way when you buy springform pans. Okay, so now we've got our chocolate chip cookie dough here. Our oven is preheated to 350. And we're going to not use all of this. We're not going to need all of this in this pan and that. So I have made an entire cookie recipe on purpose because we want to have some for the cookie crumbles on the top. So we're going to press this into our pan. I think I've got a little bit more than I need for the entire bottom of the pan because we don't want it too thick. So you can kind of see what I've got there that I'm beginning to work with. Okay, now as you can see, this is going pretty quick, and you're just putting your sides together. And then, once I get that done, I'm going to go back through and I'm going to eyeball it and make sure all my cracks are filled in. Okay, well, I think we've about got it filled in there. If there's any tiny little places that aren't filled in as the cookie crust bakes, because we are pre-baking it, they should get filled in as the cookie crust expands. All right, so this is going to go into a 350 oven for about 8 minutes. We don't want to bake it all the way off, but we do want to pre-bake it until it's pretty good and set. Our crust is done and our cookies are done, so all of that is going to come out of the oven and be cooled. Once it's cooled, we're going to have a beautiful, beautiful crust on the bottom and the sides for our cheesecake. So we have our cookie crust ready, and we're going to do the filling for our cookies and milk cheesecake. So we're doing a 9-inch, remember, a 9-inch spring form. So for that, my cheesecake recipe is 3 bricks, the 8-ounce bricks of cream cheese. I have 2 in there. In goes the last one. Waste not, want not. You know me. Okay, and then with just the cream cheese in there, we're going to put that in and let that get nice and fluffy. So let's get our whisk attachment on there. Have you guys noticed I'm getting a little bit better at operating my mixer backwards? Aren't you proud of me? A little better, I said. Not all the way there. We want this to be as lump-free as we can get it. So we're going to come in to that cream cheese and just scrape together. See how creamy that is, you guys? Isn't that wonderful? Now, in is going to go our eggs and our sour cream and our honey. And scrape down the sides. And whisk again. And we're just going to check and make sure that we're fairly lump-free. We want to be a smooth, look at that, nice and smooth. I don't see any lumps, so I think we're good. But we're just going to scrape down one more time just to be sure. And just one more quick whisk through. Okay guys, here's our crust. And it is not cold, but it is at a good place because what we want, and this is part of the reason why you want to pre-bake it a little bit or partial bake it, par bake it, is because you need the crust to hold up. See, I can touch it and it's not denting in. You need that crust to be able to hold up when you put the filling into it, okay? All right, so let's get our filling in here and bake it off. Once again, we're still doing this at 350, okay? So in goes our filling. Look how gorgeous that is. And you guys, you saw how easy this is, right? It's really, this is not a difficult thing, but it's so fun. All right, now what we got is we got it in here like this. We're just going to smooth this top out because with this kind of cake, whatever you leave the imprint on the top, it's going to show through a little bit. Okay, so you got to remember that. So we want it even, that's for one thing. And another thing is we're just going to go in like this and give a little swoop-de-doo. And it's ready to go in the oven. We're going to bake this for about 30 minutes, but remember at about that 30-minute mark, you're going to watch it because when it starts to get golden brown across the top, it is done. This is not one of those cakes you want to bake it until it's fully brown, you know, or golden across the top. Because if you do that with a cheesecake, it's going to be a little overdone and you're not going to like that as much. And once again, we're setting this on our baking sheet because that's going to help insulate that to where we don't get a too done crust on our bottom. Nobody likes burnt buns, right? Hi guys, welcome back. and as you can see, it's the next day. So our cheesecake has been in the refrigerator for probably about 16 hours, maybe 16 hours, something like that. So that's good. So we are ready to begin to unmold it. Now, you want a straight edge. I'm going to use my offset spatula. We're going to go into the sides, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to get in there and keep as much of that beautiful cookie crust intact and on the cheesecake as we can possibly do. So we're just going to slide that in. I like to go around a couple of times when I have a crust like this on a cheesecake, just to be sure that I have loosened all that crust all the way down to the edge of the pan. And when you're sliding your spatula or your straight edge down, you can feel the bottom of the pan against the end of your straight edge, okay? So you just want to go around and be sure that all of that is loosened, because that's really going to help you when it comes time to spring loose the springform pan. Let's loosen this up. Hopefully it has loosened from the side for us, and we're just going to open that way up so that we can slide that up and off. And there we go. I'm pretty pleased with that. How about you guys? All right, now we have our cookies. Remember that we had leftover yesterday, right? So, and we have our whipped cream, our fresh whipped cream. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna come in here like this and top the cheesecake with our cookies. Look how beautiful is that. And now we're going to do one in the very, very middle, our beautiful softly whipped cream. And I did a soft whip on this, you guys, okay? So that way it looks more like milk. You can whip it tighter if you want to. Just trying to decide how I want to present this. So you can just play with it. Wonderful thing about cheesecake is if you get a topping on there that you don't like, you can really just wipe it off. Well, here's the finished product, guys, on our cookies and milk cheesecake. I think my daughter is going to love it, but you can see for yourself if you follow my Instagram @ThingsTinaDoes, and you can see her reaction for yourself. And guys, don't forget to leave me a comment and give me a little heart or something. You know, we love to hear from you. And don't forget, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe so that you can see the cookies and milk cheesecake recipe and all the other wonderful things we're uploading for you each and every week. We'll see you next time on Things Tina Does.